Designs Jewelry. And I know you all are looking right now, I've heard you're doing business plans and stuff like that. When you look at a business plan, what are the things you need to consider? What have you been looking at right now?
Demographics.
Demographics, okay, very good. What are some other things? Yes,
Highlights of the business.
okay. Highlights of the business, what else?
Your surroundings.
Yeah.
Target market.
Okay, very good, a lot of good things. Have you looked into what startup costs are on a business? Or think about if you were to start a brick and mortar business, something in a little storefront, what are some of the costs you would have associated with that?
You got all types of bills. You got utilities. You have to pay for like wherever you're at.
Rent.
Labor.
Rent, utilities, labor,
Inventory.
inventory. Right, those are a lot of expenses that come in if you're doing a traditional brick and mortar business. What they say is, in a traditional business, do you know how long it is until you are expected to have an actual profit on your investment? About 5 years, 3 to 5 years. Great. So direct sales is a place where entrepreneurs can get a level playing field and all the background's done for you. Indirect sales, when I joined Premier Designs, they already had the demographic, it's women. It's high fashion jewelry, that's 80% of the jewelry market. Premier Designs has the inventory for me. I do not have to buy inventory. With some direct sales, you do buy your inventory. But because I work out of my home, not only do I not have the traditional expenses of rent, utilities, I also don't do advertising. I don't have employees other than my husband, who got to retire early to work with me. So I get to work for myself, but because of this, because the expenses are so low, the company can pay me very well. Direct sales is something where you can start up, said the demographics are done, the business plan is done. The product is developed, fully developed. So it's something to think about. It is a way, and in direct sales, in just about any company you get into, if you actually work it like a business, you can start making a profit after the first month or two on the outside.
Direct sales, you said?
Direct sales. Direct sales is when I am selling directly to a consumer. Direct sales includes Avon, Mary Kay, Tupperware, Party Light. There is a lot of it out there. Warren Buffett is investing in direct sales. Donald Trump is investing in direct sales. It is the wave of the future, and it's something that, again, if you want to do something, it's already there. It's already set for you. But you are, in most cases, an independent distributor. So you set your goals, your financial goals. You set your schedule. Yes?
Should you still get limited liability with that?
I do not need it because I don't have anybody into a place of business.
Okay.
The products are developed by Premier Design, so they guarantee the product. Jewelry is not going to cause a lot of,
Yeah, true.
I don't see a lot of jewelry tragedies. We guarantee the jewelry and I replace it. I've had once in my 7 years that someone had an allergic reaction and she just wanted a refund for her jewelry. It didn't go any further than that because it was not a product defect, it was just a personal chemistry thing. But that's a good question. So no, I don't have any of those expenses. What I am part of in direct sales is called the party plan. I go to women's houses. Generally I work with women. They'll invite their girlfriends over to shop. And in return for that, my hostess gets free jewelry. Now my average hostess, and Premier Designs is actually one of the most generous, it is the most generous actually, in the direct sales.
Direct sales is that like a company
Direct
or what?
direct sales is a niche. Direct sales is when you are selling directly to the consumer.
Oh, so it's not a group or anything. It's just you selling.
I am an independent distributor with Premier Designs.
Right.
Premier Designs, I have a contract with them that I'm selling for them. They develop the product line, they develop the catalogs, they give away the free jewelry. They just let me keep 50% of whatever I sell.
Okay.
In other direct sales, when you start out, it's 20 to 25%. It's one of the reasons I chose Premier. But direct sales, it's, as I said, there's the party plans where you go to somebody's house. There's also others that are, there's like, anybody here heard of Amway?
Amway.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Amway is huge, huge mega company. They've changed their name a couple times because sometimes direct sales, people call it a pyramid plan, because you're making money off of other people. But let me tell you, if you go to work in an office, somebody else sitting at the top of the office is making some money off of what you're doing, right?
Everything's a pyramid scheme.
Everything's a pyramid
In a
scheme.
way.
But, you know, the good thing in direct sales is there's no ceilings. You can set your own goals, you can set your own schedule, you do whatever you want to. And in direct sales, it's also called multi-level marketing. And that's because you can bring on a team. And every one of them is different. When you bring on people, then you get some kind of compensation, either for signing them up or when they sell something. Yes?
You said Warren Buffett does direct sales. Isn't he like with another company? He doesn't really go around selling.
No, he bought a direct sales. He invested in direct sales.
Okay.
He does not do direct sales. But direct sales is, again, you're selling straight to the consumer, one-to-one. 80% of direct sales is just, I sell to you, I sell to you, I sell to you, I sell to you. There's a lot of health products in direct sales, and that's actually the top seller right now. More money is spent on health products in direct sales than anything else. There's, as I said, there's Shaklee that's been around since the 70s. There's Melaleuca that's been around for 10 or 15 years.
My mom does that.
Your mom does Melaleuca. There are lots of ways to do direct sales, and it is one of the ways that you can start up a business with very little to no investment, because you're not having to develop a product.
Sorry,
Yes.
they're called direct sales, like that's what they're called?
It's called direct sales. Direct sales is kind of just a portion of the business world. There's like real estate, there's medicine, there's direct
So if you
sales.
want, you can start like a direct sale if you wanted to.
Yes, in direct sales, you just find a company you want to work with, a product that you're passionate about. It's very important that you believe in what you're selling, but there are direct sales for everything from cell phone and
Clothes.
power plans. There's, there's clothes. You know, I have a friend that's with Stream Energy. She's doing, selling reduced price on gas for your home.
But you need to be with the company.
To do direct sales, as an industry, yes, you affiliate yourself with a product line and a company.
Would it still be direct sales if you're your own company and if you get a license for it and everything? Would you be your?
Well, then you're more, it's kind of direct sales. Direct sales on the whole means you're getting into one of the established
All right.
groups. Direct sales as a strict definition is you're just going in selling. You know, direct sales can be you pick up stuff and you set up at the flea market each week. That's also a form of direct sales, but the direct sales industry is made up of hundreds now of companies that are doing this. And so that is what I do. So anybody have any questions about this? We've covered a lot already, and you guys have some really good, insightful questions. I can tell you're really learning the ins and outs of a lot of things on business.
How long were you doing it?
I've been doing this for 7 years, and as I say, for about out of the first 5 years, I maybe worked 2 altogether. The company I'm with, there's no minimums, there's no quotas. So if I didn't feel like working, I didn't. I had another job, so yes.
Did you go to college?
I went to college. I majored in music education. I worked, while my kids were growing up, I worked as a choir director at churches for a long time. And it got to where I wanted to be able to just worship and not have to be thinking about everything else all the time. So I had a strong administrative background, went into that. But we have tried a lot of different businesses, and somewhere deep in our heart, we didn't want to be answering to somebody else. So I did not start this business again until 7 years ago, and I was well past 30 and beyond. Yes.
In a way, do you consider yourself more of an intrapreneur since you're working inside of a company, or do you consider yourself more?
Well, it's my own company.
Right.
I mean, I have a, Schedule C. I'm not hired by them.
Okay.
I have a contract to sell their product. So I didn't develop a new business, but I am an entrepreneur because it's my own business. I set my own hours, I set my own goals. I do what I want to do. So, yes. Some other direct sales? No, I just said in direct sales, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes.
I came in kind of late. What business are you actually?
I do Premier Designs jewelry, and where I usually sell is I go to a woman's home and do it's called the party plan. We call them jewelry shows. We have games and fun and prizes, and the girls that are shopped, the guests shop, and the hostess gets free jewelry from Premier Designs, which is what keeps my business going, and it's why we don't have to advertise. Yes.
So you don't have a physical location?
I do not have a physical location. I
So-
work out of my home, so I've got the home office deduction.
At the party shows?
Yes, yes.
How many people on average do you get?
I have an average of about 6 to 8 guests at a show.
Do most of them buy? Or?
The average in Georgia right now is about $470 that people will spend at a show, and my gross profit is 50% of that. So that's not bad for 4 hours work.
How many shows do you do? Like, what do you do? Like a show a week or how much?
Our goal is 3 shows a week
3 shows a week?
right now, because this is our sole source of income. We are working toward earning our second cruise. So we've got to get all the points for the cruise and then the money so we can go to Atlantis in Bahama, because that's really expensive. Yes.
Is like most of your clients like off of like baby showers or like is it?
No, it's just ladies. I am doing, actually, I did a show last week with a woman I met. I set up at a festival at Mountain View High School. I do a drawing and ask ladies what would they like to do, and those are things that I can do to expand my market. My marketing budget's very low. I'll spend $25 or $40 and get 25 contacts, which is what happened. I did a show at her house last week, and tomorrow night she's doing a training show. She's going to be on my team. And you've had your hand up a couple times.
Oh, are you actually wearing the jewelry?
Yes, I am wearing the jewelry. This is what I love about it. I'm a walking advertisement. So with my business, it's very easy for me to see someone in the store or whatever, and all my jewelry's tax deductible, which is really cool. I've got about 150 pieces of tax deductible jewelry. But I'll walk to someone in the store and say, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. And they'll say, oh, thank you. And I said, yeah, I have an accessories business. I'm with Premier Designs Jewelry. Have you ever heard of it? And they said, well, maybe yes or no. And I said, well, I usually do home shows, or I help women build a business or give away jewelry. Is that something you'd like to hear about? And boom, I've got contacts. So it's very easy, yes.
Out of all the people that you've sold to, and everything all the business that you've had, who would you say is your target market?
I was just listening to a training on this, and I'd say my target market is women that like a lot of jewelry and can't afford it.
No specific age? No.
I do not have a specific age. I have done shows the first month I did one for my mother and I did one for my son's girlfriend. So it was that broad. And you know, at my first show, I remember selling the same necklace to my 78-year-old mother and my other son's 18-year-old girlfriend. So it's a very broad market. Yes.
Is there like a way like for people? Do they have ads for like custom jewelry?
Custom?
Yeah, like.
No, we do not do custom jewelry because the company is as efficient as they can be. And I don't know if you guys have studied this, but we have 500 items in our line, and our turnaround is about a day and a half, that we completely turn over the inventory every day and a half. That's how efficiently they run. It is amazing. Yes?
So you said that you don't do advertising, so how do you typically get your customers?
Well, when I do a show, like when I did the show last week, and I show them this is how much free jewelry I give away to a hostess. My average hostess gets $200 to $300 in free jewelry. And I know. And they say, I put all this jewelry on a girl, and I said, now who else wants some free jewelry? And they're like, me, me, me. If I don't have 3 people scheduled at a show, my goal is to go home, get back on the phones, call somebody. I sent somebody a text message today. I said, if you have a show next week, because I've only got 2 shows next week and I want 3, I'll give you an extra 10% in free jewelry. So I'll make 45% instead of 50. Yes?
Are you losing a lot of money by doing that?
No. The free jewelry is given by Premier Designs. In some companies and other party plans, you have to pay for what the hostess gets. But for my hostess, she gets 30% of the sales in free jewelry. And an average show is like $400, $500. So $120, $150 retail value of jewelry Premier Designs is going to give her, and I pay $8 for that. Yes?
Have you thought about like any potential risks that you are taking by making this business?
Yeah, there's the risk that if I don't work it, it won't work. And if I don't work it well, it won't build and it won't grow. But there is also the fact that this is one of the places where especially women have unlimited income potential. 87% of the people in direct sales are females, and that's because it's based on relationships, and that's where women really, we value our relationships and we work on them. Yes.
Are there men that's doing this?
There are men, yes. We have some amazing leaders in Premier Designs, and traditionally in the jewelry business, if you go to any of the fine jewelry stores, like you go in Jared's or any of those places, it's about 80% male. When Premier Designs started, they were focusing on two target groups. One was single moms and one was pastors' wives. Because they felt those were women that back in the 80s did not have very many dignified options that came with the flexibility you needed in those two roles. Yes?
In 5 years, where do you see your business?
In 5 years, where do I see my business? What's our 5-year plan?
20,000 a month.
20,000 a month? Really?
Yeah, we
That's
talked
his
about it.
5-year plan, yeah. No, I don't know that we'll be there. My Premier mom, who sponsored me, has been doing this for 20 years. She brings in, I haven't heard her, in 2012, her commission check, based on the 600 people in her team, was between $15,000 and $45,000 each month. So, yes.
You were saying tax deductibles, you mean by that you get your money back during taxes, or what?
Yeah, I can take this off of, you put in your income and then you take off your expenses. When you are in business for yourself, if you don't have a principal place of business, like a brick and mortar, if you go to a store, or if you guys ever have a job and you go to work and you come home and you go to work and you come home, that is not tax deductible. Everywhere I go is tax deductible because I am not at my place of business when I work. My jewelry, these are my samples, I take them to my shows, so they are tax deductible. I get to deduct a percentage of my mortgage and my utilities because I have a home office. I get to divide the square footage of your office. It has to be exclusively an office. It can't be an office/den, office/guest room. But there are amazing tax benefits to having a business in your home.
You file your own taxes?
Yes, I do. I did a lot of bookkeeping along the way.
You said you get the tax deductible if you work out of your home, you said, that's it?
If you have a home office,
All right.
you can deduct that also. But because I'm not just going to somewhere else's business, I'm going to all my customers. So it's business required travel.
So you get that's a tax deductible too, like for gas? Or?
I deduct mileage, and right now it's about 52 cents a mile I get to deduct. Yes?
How far do you drive off for your shows?
That's a good question, because we're going to Greensboro, Georgia
Sheesh.
today. Do you know where that is?
I know it's far.
It's far. It's 80 miles. I normally do not do that, but this lady was at a show last Friday, and she wanted me to do a show this Friday. And if I can get a show that quickly, I'll go 80 miles. I told her I had to have at least $100 in orders before I got there, just to make sure that I'll at least cover my gas. So, yes?
You have like Craigslist, eBay?
We are not permitted to sell online. That's part of Premier Designs' values, because one of our primary principles is we want to enrich every life we touch, and they actually started this as a way to encourage and help women build confidence to be able to talk to the women that are in the homes and make them feel valued for the day, so they will not permit selling online. A lot of the other companies, if you're with Avon or Mary Kay, you can give people your website and do it that way.
Do they give you the jewelry, or you just like select what you want to sell?
That's a good question. You actually, when you start, you have 3 different options. And you're not required to get jewelry, but there's about a 98% failure rate if you don't have the jewelry to show people. But you can either just buy whatever you want at 50% off, or they have 2 different kits, they call them. And one is 40 pieces of jewelry, one is 70 pieces of jewelry. And they each come with a bag and trays and tools and things, and they're $475 and $750. It's about 25 to 30% off wholesale, depending on what, but it is a pre-selected kit. It's by a group of jewelers from all across the country that are looking at what is trending right now. What are we selling the most of? So you're gonna have the best selection. So it takes the guesswork out for someone that's a beginner, yes.
Is there like a sign-up fee or like?
There is. There's, aside from the cost for the jewelry with Premier Designs, it's $395, which is actually one of the highest in the industry. But because I'm making 50% instead of 20%, I'm gonna pay that off in 2 shows. And because it's not cheap to get in, all my friends are gonna sign up so they can buy at a discount,
So you
so I can keep
300?
selling.
You think?
I paid, yeah, it's $395 plus we paid $750 for the kit. It's about
Sheesh.
$13, $16 with tax. You pay that off in 6 shows. I can do 6 shows in 2 weeks. How many other businesses can you get your entire investment back in 2 weeks? And you've got $2,000 to $3,000 worth of jewelry. So, and you had a question?
Yeah. For safety reasons, in case like in case any jewelry gets stolen, do you have insurance on you?
I do not, and I should. I don't, we haven't added it to our homeowners.
It's included.
But yeah, well, right now, if it's stolen from my car, it goes on my homeowner's policy, and it's got a $1,000 deductible anyway, so.
It goes on your homeowner's policy?
It goes on your homeowners. If something is stolen from your car, it goes on your homeowner's policy, and I do not understand that, but that's how it is. And I do have to tell you, it is an amazing company. This past year, a woman's jewelry was stolen from her car, and we have a Jewelers Only Facebook page, and someone said, hey, this girl's jewelry was stolen, can anybody send her some? And jewelers were like, I'll send her this, I have 2 of these, I'll have 1 of these, and she had
So
a whole
like a
set of
family
jewelry.
almost.
It is like a family, and it is a very non-competitive spirit. This whole page is just to give each other tips and helps. Someone will say, oh my gosh, I'm doing a such and such show this weekend, has anybody done that? And before you know it, you'll have 5 women, I think we're all on there way too much, that say, oh, here's what I did at mine, and here's what I did, and here's the, here's a file, I've uploaded the form that I used, and so, they're not all like that. There's, but if you are looking at direct sales, I should say a couple things to look at in direct sales, because there are buku companies out there. A lot of them make really amazing claims, and they'll show you a lot of fast talking, but a couple things to look at. How long have they been in business? Some of them say, get in on the startup. Well, that might be good, that might be really, really risky, because a lot of these companies are gone in 5 years. Premier Designs has been around 28 years, and they are the only, no, there's 2 that I know of that are debt-free. There's this one, and there's Nikkei, which is magnets. Another thing is, have they declared bankruptcy? Have they changed ownership? Some of these companies are sold 3 and 4 times, and every time they get sold to somebody else, the values change, the product changes. It's kind of like, if you've got a job and a new manager comes in, and suddenly you don't like it so much. So those are a couple things to look at. Yes? Okay, I'll go over here.
Like, if I was if you saw me in a supermarket and I was a mom or something,
Yeah?
how would you initiate, like, if you wanted them to be your host and you felt like they were going to be a good host, like, what would you?
Well, the one thing is, I don't want them to be, I offer what I have. I have an amazing, amazing thing to offer ladies. I am offering you either $200 in jewelry or a way to change your life forever. Would you like to hear more about it? So I will go up, sometimes if she's got little kids, I'll start it just a conversation. Yeah, when I was home with my kids, I ran a newspaper route, I was a closer at Burger King, I did, all this stuff so I could be home with my kids. And boy, I wish I knew about what I was doing now, back when my kids were little. I would have loved this, and then they might ask. If they're interested, I'll give it to them. If they're not, it's their choice, and I'll just find somebody else. Yes, you remember?
Is your company, you said they've been around for 28 years.
28 years.
Are they in any other states, or is it just Georgia?
No, they are actually based out of Dallas, Fort Worth, and so if you sign on with Premier Designs, you can sell in any of the U.S. states or Puerto Rico or on any Army, Navy, Air Force base, as long as it has an APO address.
Do y'all have convention?
We do. We have what we call Rally, and once a year we have National Rally, which is in the Fort Worth Convention Center. You get about 70,000 screaming ladies all in one place, and about, 400 men? that come. We get training on the skills we need for the business. They always bring out the new jewelry that time, you know, and about 25% of our line is new every year. They retire 25%, they bring out the latest stuff. And then we have regional rallies in January. They do it in 32 different cities, so more people can get a chance to attend.
And then my other question was, do you have like a seasonal high? Like, is like spring one of your highs?
This right now is our top selling season. October, November, December is about 80% of our sales.
Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, yes, retail, yes.
Do you just like sell the bracelets or do you know how to make them?
I do not make them. Premier Designs makes them, Premier Designs inventories them. I don't have to develop or design anything, I just have to put it on the cube.
And if you don't mind me saying real quick, guys, in direct sales, I've done stuff with Advocare before, it's about
Okay, great.
similar. The business plan is made.
Yeah,
Everything's taken care of. The products are taken care of, cost of one unit and all that stuff, everything's taken care of for you. All you've got to do is set up how you are going to run your thing. Like she was saying, if she chooses not to do it, that's the only barrier that she's got. That's the only risk she takes.
so the only one that can stop me is
What
me, and I
company
can
do
take
you
some
sell to?
most days.
It's Advocare. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I don't want to take away from her time right now, but
But just one of the health-related products.
right. And so the business model is set up for you. It's how much or how hard do you want to work, really?
Right.
Yep,
It depends on your success. So that's.
yeah.
Well, we'll get into how everything's set up and all that later on.
You can't get fired.
I can't get fired.
What if like,
I could fire me. I have the only things, if I violated my contract,
Yeah.
if I started selling online, they could take it away.
what if you can't like sell it? Like, what if you don't sell it?
You just don't
I don't
sell
make
it.
any money. So, that's my choice. I'm not gonna have anybody, now, actually, my Premier mom, she did, she sent me a thing and she said, you've had a couple low months, what's up? Because she knows my goals, and she wants to help keep me encouraged, but nobody's gonna be on the phone and say, you need $27 more this week to hit whatever.
Did you ever think about selling more than one, like, more than one product?
Yes, we thought about that. At one point, I was looking at something else, and then they told us something at Rally, one of our top leaders that's always training. And his wife was doing this, and he was gonna do something else, and the founder of the company said, you can't chase two rabbits and catch one of them.
Have you ever thought about like setting up a venue at a mall or something?
We're not allowed to do that.
Oh.
Yeah. Write them down, yes.
The company you're working with, is this basically a franchise?
No, it is a company, I'm kind of like a franchise, kind of. Not quite as much, because if you're a franchise, you have all kinds of restrictions. You know, we were gonna put a Starbucks in our church. If you're gonna sell Starbucks, you have to be open from this hour to this hour. And you have to offer this and this and this. So it's kind of like I'm the franchise. Premier Designs is just one company, headquartered in Dallas-Fort Worth. They have 2 manufacturing plants. One is there in the Fort Worth area, and one is actually in Honduras. And then all the rest of the jewelry they buy from Rhode Island. They just found Honduras was a very free enterprise company that had a very low employment rate. And so they're down there paying very, very good wages to people to manufacture the product. Yes,
I know your company sells jewelry. Do they do anything else besides that?
that's it,
That's it?
just jewelry. They're sticking to one thing to keep it, and I don't know if you've studied this, you know, every time your inventory gets broader, your operating costs go with it. Every item in your inventory has to be tracked, has to be warehoused, has to be manufactured, so they keep as slim as they can to still function in the market, yes.
So they have a website, right?
Premier Designs has a website. You can get some general information about the company, but you cannot buy the jewelry unless you connect with a jewelry lady, because they do not want to take business away from us, yes.
2 questions. Who's the founder?
Joan and Andy Horner were the founders. Andy had an amazing background in business. He was a regional vice president for Xerox. He worked for GM. He worked for Chrysler. And then at a point in his life, they ended up in a direct sales company. They actually retired, and they were looking for a way to support missions. Their daughter was in missions. They were retired and thought, well, maybe we can give to missions. And then somebody said, you know what? If you started a business, you could support a lot more missions than you can with your own individual wealth. So they started this company when they were both past 60. Andy is now 86. Joan went to the Lord 3 years ago, so we miss her. But yeah, when the company was 2 years old, they actually started the Premier Horner Foundation, and they are supporting missions in 62 countries right now, which is another thing. It's really unique about this company.
It's gonna come along.
Okay.
And did y'all have a y'all was never they were never sold or anything like that? It's been
No,
your
it is
company?
privately owned, so there's no shareholders. There is debt-free, so there's no debt. That's another reason they can give away more jewelry and pay us more than any other company. You got it?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
No, you have a lot of clients, you email them and a whole bunch of stuff. What if you, out of somewhere, out of nowhere, you meet somebody like on the internet that's in a different country or somewhere, are you allowed to ship your stuff over there?
I could ship it personally out of country. The Premier Designs office won't. If I want, but I really want to sell to people that I'm gonna have an ongoing relationship with.
Mhm.
So it's better to have a customer that you can see face to face, if at all possible, yes.
What made you join this particular
It's a good question. There are a lot of them out there, and we had, like I said, we had done so many we can't remember them all. My sister knew that, and she was doing Premier. When she called and she told me that you get 50%, we knew we hadn't made 50%, even close to 50% in anything else we did. So that was the big one for me. Yes.
Would you say you enjoy getting the money, or would you say you enjoy like meeting people?
I enjoy meeting the people. I enjoy being, because I'm a very self-centered, all about me person. This has really turned me into a more about you person. It's really changed my character. I love going and meeting women. I love the fact that I can help someone change her life. I love the fact that a woman that's having a really bad day can come in and put on some jewelry, and just for that moment she can feel spectacular and captivating and special. That's what I love the best about it. I love the best that I get to dress up and go out and play in the jewelry and make really good money and bless a lot of women at the same time. So, yes.
Yeah, so you were saying how your newest client, how she's like far, and you told her that she needed to have $100 of sales like locked in before you came, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do? Like you
I
just
gave
sent
her
to the
catalog, I
website?
gave her some order forms.
Oh,
I
you
said,
sent
here.
out catalogs?
Yeah, I gave her.
thought you just gave her like an ultimatum or something.
No, I said no, I did say, she said, will you come to Greensboro? I said, I will if you can promise me $100 in orders before I get there. Because then I know it's going to be a higher volume show, and it's gonna be worth my extra 3 hours of driving.
There's a lot of products, right?
I take about 130 with me, there's about 500 in the catalog.
130 separate products, like different products?
130 pieces of jewelry.
Oh, pieces
in one bag.
How do you know which ones to sell? Did they tell you like which ones popular?
They pick what they want, and then I send the order to Premier, and Premier actually ships them new jewelry. These are my samples. I do not have to keep inventory. I do not have to guess what are they going to buy this time.
New jewelry that's never been like out before?
Right, they're going to get it shipped straight from the warehouse. So, it's a good question, yes.
So does your jewelry, you said in your catalog you have 530, so does it change or is it the same?
It changes each year in July. They retire about 1/4 of the line and then putting out new pieces. And I think most of what I'm wearing, nope, that's last year. A lot of this. Blue and green is a big trend this year,
So last year.
so yeah, it's so last year. Yes.
What's the most you ever, I guess, sold?
I've had 3 shows that were over $1,000.
And it was just like 6 or 8 people, was more than that.
One of them was like 20 people. It was a fundraiser for the breast cancer walk. One was maybe 10. I think both of them, I think the other 2 were at least 10 people. Yes.
I don't think this is a rude question, but it's not.
Okay. I put myself in here. Ask it.
How much do you make a year?
How much do I make a year?
Yeah.
Well, see, the answer to that is, it doesn't matter what I make a year.
Okay.
Because what I make is dependent upon my goals and my needs. What you make is going to depend on your goals, your needs, and how much you put into it.
Very true.
Yes.
You don't sell like diamond jewelry.
No, we do not. That's called fine jewelry, the diamonds, the solid gold. That is only 10% of the market. And I know you guys have talked about market share. Do you want to sell to 10% of the market or 80%? There you go, okay.
Yeah, what is that?
So you
What's
sell,
the other?
The other 10 is costume jewelry, like Charming Charlie's. If the girls have
So
been
that's
there.
not costume jewelry?
No, it's called high fashion jewelry. That means it's gold plated, silver plated. We have some semi-precious stones, but there are industry standards, and to be considered high fashion jewelry, you do have to have so many micrograms of plating on the jewelry. A lot of other, like Charming Charlie's, it could just be something that's tin that's spray painted silver.
So how much does like the necklace cost?
The one with all the colors.
Oh, wow.
This is $49.
Oh wow, yeah, that's not cheap. So you have around $150 on your neck?
This is $39.
Oh, they
This is
get-
only
get
one
cheaper.
necklace, it's doubled.
Yeah.
So,
My bracelets average like 25. 20.
this is 42. I have no idea how much this is. The watch comes with 2 straps, it's 92, I think.
Is this the happiest that you've been, like, job-wise, career-wise?
Oh, yes.
I'm not
Because basically I either didn't like my boss or my coworkers everywhere I went. I'm just that way, yes.
How much stress are you in?
The stress that I have, I bring on myself. If I'm not consistently keeping shows on my schedule, then I run out of shows and then I get desperate and then I get stressed. So, but I've got 3 shows this weekend, I've got 3 shows next week, so right now, we're good. Yes,
When you first started, you used your own money?
yes.
And did you guys both use the money, or you just used them?
What was
Like,
that?
who's your investors? Did you invest
Oh, no.
yourself, or-
No, it's only, I said it was only $1,400, and we actually, Premier they have contracted with a third-party financing company, so we have the Premier card that we used to pay for the investment, yes.
Why do you have so much faith in this company?
Because of its track record, because of its values, and we have seen those values. In 7 years with those company, we have seen those values lived out. We see it every time we call the office. We see it in everything they do for us. We see it in the way they train us and the way they train our leaders. So, and a lot of other places, the longer you're there, the more you get irritated or discouraged, but the longer we're here, the more impressed we are. Yes?
Do you plan on like retiring?
In Premier, you can't, in a lot of these, if you get enough people going, that you get what's called residual income, if you're doing insurance or if you're doing some of the health products where people get it monthly, things like that, you can get so many people buying that you can stop if you want to, and income will still come in. Premier does not allow that. They do not want anybody making money strictly off other people's labors. So we have to do a minimum amount, no matter where you are in the company. You have to be doing some of your own business to collect commissions. Yes?
So you don't have you have people, you have us, working for you, it's nothing like that?
I do not have any employees right now. I mean, it's not near big enough to do that.
Oh, but you can?
I could, if I didn't like the office work, or if I didn't know how to do the bookkeeping, I might hire somebody to do that. Some people will hire, I got my slave labor over there. He's my muscles, and he likes to check out the women at the shows, so he goes to the checkout counter and he checks them all
I
out.
never get in trouble with it.
Yeah, that's what he does.
It's a man's dream.
But some of the higher leaders, when you get 600, 800, 2,000 people on your team, you need someone to help you keep things going. But I don't know anybody that has more than 1 or 2 employees.
All right, guys, we got about 1 more minute for questions before you guys go to lunch, so.
Been very good questions, yes.
How was Halloween?
I'm sorry?
How was your Halloween?
How was my Halloween? It was dark and quiet. We're in a neighborhood where almost all the kids are teenagers, and they don't even bother to dress up, and we just aren't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's how my.
They just come to the door in their hoodies and their jeans, and they want some candy, so we just shut the curtains, went into the back into the office and worked. That's what we did, yes.
You guys got conventions?
Yeah, so we have the rally in July.
Once a year.
and
Once a
January.
year only?
Once a year, we have the national, and once a year, we have regionals, yes.
What's your idea of a good life, of a true happiness?
Well, our dream board is, and how many of y'all have a dream board?
I don't think I got that 80.
started.
They
No,
got, like,
you go
free
up
board
and you
here.
put, what are your dreams? I'm telling you, you know that 80% of America does not have any goals at all,
Yeah.
and only 3 to 5% have them written down. Our dream board has a pair of Harleys, it has a vacation cabin, it has a theme park. I want to be able to take all my kids and grandkids on a vacation every year.
Oh, that's dope.
Man, not to Europe. I'm thinking the most we're gonna be able to get 4 kids together with all their grandkids is gonna be a weekend here and there. So, that's our dream, yes.
Plan on having your own theme park?
No, I just have a picture of a theme park because I want to take all the kids down to Universal Studios. That was a valid question. I wasn't clear, yes.
What did music education degree help you?
In this,
No, like, what did it teach?
Oh.
What did it teach you?
no, I did church choirs for about, I don't know, until my kids started getting into high school. And then it got really hard for me to be out 3 nights a week doing rehearsals and trying to get them to band practice and scouts and the whole bit, yes.
Do you think going to college to get that degree was worth it?
Yes,
Is
for that time in my life, yes, it was very valuable. And that was my passion and that was the only thing I knew I wanted at
there
that
an
time.
age limit? What's the age?
In Premier Designs, you need to be 18 because you are signing a contract. In some others, and there are some other companies where you can start at 16 or 17, yes.
How would it have been different if you had gotten a degree more relevant?
Don't forget lunch.
I don't think it would have changed much, because in Premiere, I do the exact same thing every time. I don't have to keep reinventing. I mean, they've set it up for me. They give me a script for my home shows. My Premiere boss, who's making $15,000 to $45,000, she is the 3rd highest ranking jeweler in the nation right now, because she develops a lot of leaders. Had one job before Premiere. She was the secretary at her father's church, and she got fired. So it's a very level playing field in this. You don't need a business background, you just need to learn how to communicate with people.
All right, guys.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much for coming.